Hello, and welcome to another edition of All or None according to Jack. In this edition, you can see my guest, George Parsekian. So what does that mean? We're going to talk about some more wrestling. Let's do it. So as most of you wrestling fans have seen, we just had Wrestlemania pass us by. We had a Saturday edition and a Sunday edition. So we're going to go match by match, day by day, and just talk about, our thoughts about, the recap of WrestleMania 38. So as Vince McMahon said at the beginning of WrestleMania 3, welcome to WrestleMania 3. And I'm sorry, I couldn't get the services of Aretha Franklin tonight. What can I do? How you doing, George?
I'm good. Ready to go.
All right.
Let's jump in.
Okay. So, as just in brief, to talk about this briefly. So we had about 8 or 9 matches each for 8 matches for Saturday, and I think 8 or 9 matches on Sunday.
So kind of depends how you count matches, I guess.
Yeah.
We'll get into that.
But you know what? And before we even get into this, I think they need to cut this down. This is almost like if it would be as if me or one of my buddies from Sea of Tranquility were talking about one of those long metal albums that went 2 discs that didn't have to.
I think what it is, when you make it 2 days, you're kind of watering down your product. And you're talking about it should be the biggest day in wrestling of the year. Not doesn't matter what company it is. It's the biggest wrestling event of the year, regardless of the company. It should be 1 day, and it should be a mega card. And
yeah,
we got a lot of fluff here. So
I hate to compare them to AEW, but they did it right. They kept it 4 hours, 1 night, 12 matches max, and that's,
they know what the people want. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine.
So in any event, we're going to go through each match, talk about them a little bit, and we're going to grade each one. So the first match of the night was the SmackDown Tag Team Championship. The Usos versus Shinsuke Nakamura and Rick Boogs. So,
all right. So I love the Usos. They're 2 of my favorite wrestlers in the WWE. I think they put on a good match every time they're in the ring. They got robbed here. Obviously, it's not their fault. It's not anyone's fault. Boogs got hurt. That was not a kayfabe injury. I'm pretty sure his knee blew out there. We watched it. It was like, ugh. Watched it twice. It was pretty obvious he was in pain.
So just to recap what happened. So Rick Boogs had one of the Usos on his back, and then the second Uso jumped on his back, and that's when you saw his knee buckle really badly. And the camera didn't pick it up, but it looked like it twisted badly.
So usually when you get a spot like that, the wrestler kind of bends and picks the guy up. He was full on his, all the weight was on his knees, and he just jumped on there, and you could see the knee buckle. He tried to walk on it after, and it was kind of gruesome. Kind of sad. I feel bad for him, but it might be the best thing for him. Like I was telling you, he's not developed yet. He got over on his guitar gimmick, which is fine, but he needs to learn how to wrestle. So in the long run, never wish for an injury, but I hope it's all better for him in the long run. I hope he becomes a star. I think he has star potential.
Right.
And being with Shinsuke isn't really helping his career in any way, in my opinion. I like Shinsuke as a wrestler, but I don't think he'll ever get over in the WWE.
I'm not a huge Shinsuke fan, and you know what? When he wrestles, I tend to change the channel or fast forward, especially if I'm if I'm recording it.
I know you really don't like him. I've seen his Japan matches, and I get why people love him. But he needs to. I think he needs to get out of the WWE. He'll always be a mid-carder. He needs to get out of here and go somewhere where he's loved.
The Kinshasa, what the hell is that?
I mean, I don't hate it. It's basically a Sweet Chin Music, but his version of it, I guess. But whatever. It's fine. It's just he can't speak for himself, obviously, which no one's blaming him for that. But you just got to play the guitar for him, and that's supposed to get him over. And the Usos are one of the best tag teams.
Right.
Because they got kind of robbed here. Either way.
I'm just going to take a short break and pause us for a second. Okay, so sorry I had to pause there for a second, but dummy me, I forgot my drink. Yeah.
Go Mets.
And I can't, Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go, Mets.
They don't have a pitcher for opening
Oh,
day.
yeah.
So,
Yes, because somebody else blew out his shoulder.
not looking good. Either way,
That's a subject for another day. So anyway, I gave the Usos and Shinsuke Nakamura and Rick Boog's match a C. So what did you give it?
it's a C- in my book, and it's no one's fault. As I
Right.
said, I think it was getting somewhere, and then it kind of, got derailed, unfortunately, by an injury.
Yeah.
But I think it had potential to be a great match,
Yeah.
which is why the WWE consistently puts the Usos on first, because they can't be main event. They don't put tag teams in the main event, but they know they're gonna have a great match every time.
Mm.
They kind of, got screwed this time. What are you gonna do? Not their fault.
Yep.
Let's move on to the next one.
Okay, so next is match number 2, and this shocked me. It's Drew McIntyre versus Happy Corbin, and it really saddened me to see how Drew McIntyre fell down the card to number 2. I mean, come
Well,
on.
Vince's thing, it doesn't matter where you're on the card of WrestleMania as long as you're in WrestleMania, but like it matters. It does. Your second match on the first night, like, I don't know. And Drew's that's gonna be what your next who's gonna beat Roman, like eventually. I'm sorry, spoilers. Who's gonna beat Roman though? Like who's your guy?
Right.
It's gotta be him or either way. It could be him or someone else. Who's gonna be? I don't know.
We'll talk about that someone else in a little while.
The thing about this match was because it was so non-compelling
Mhm.
from the lead up, and they tried so hard, and I get it.
Yeah.
But I didn't care. So like it could have been a great match.
And
Didn't steal the show in my opinion. Wasn't a great match.
No.
Wasn't a terrible match. Just
now
whatever.
Baron Corbin, I liked his gimmick when he first started. He was a tough guy, and to go to this Happy Corbin crap, I mean, what the hell?
I told my theory is he's like Samson, so he cut his hair,
Yeah,
and that's now he's a bald man that he gets horrible gimmicks that
yeah,
I don't know. Vince has terrible ideas sometimes.
Yeah.
I don't know, and he
but
sticks to him.
the fact that Drew McIntyre got booked as the winner, and the fact that he's good in ring performer, I gave it a C+.
I feel like there's no way Drew could have lost this match. You can't book Drew to lose at WrestleMania
No.
in the second match
No.
to Happy Corbin. Like, what is that? What is that gimmick? And then I kind of thought this was going to be the time for what's his stupid name? His friend, Happy Corbin's friend, to turn on him.
Right.
Didn't turn. It felt like it, especially when he dropped it. Felt like he was kind of getting in the way on purpose. I don't
Right.
know. I think
Yeah.
that kid's going to be good.
Mhm.
I want him to turn on Happy Corbin so bad. This
Right.
match was okay. I would give it a B. Just on I think they're good workers, both of them, but there's no story here. It's
Yeah.
boring. I don't care. So I give it a B. Solid B.
Okay. All right. So match number 3, it was the Mysterios, Rey Mysterio and his son Dominic.
You didn't
against.
grade the last one.
I did. I said C+.
Oh, C plus. I didn't.
Yeah,
Okay, I'm
yeah.
sorry. I'm sorry.
No worries. No worries. This is a live. I mean, we are recording live, so there are going to be glitches like this from time to time. Match number 3, Mysterios, Rey and Dominic Mysterio against The Miz and Logan Paul. And you know what? I don't hide the fact that I'm not a fan of The Miz, and I was very surprised that they gave Miz and Logan Paul the win here. So, and then what does Miz do in true Miz fashion? He turned on Logan Paul after the match and gave him a skull-crushing finale. I guess designed to set up a little mini feud between them afterwards.
That was the best part of the match, in my opinion. But that's neither here. I mean, no, that's not true. Ray had his spots. I love
Right.
Ray.
Mhm.
One of the greatest of all time, obviously. Greatest lucha in
Yeah.
WWE history.
So Ray and Dominic, their little athleticism that they showed in the match was the only reason I gave it a C and nothing lower.
There are things I love about this just because, Dominic came out on my I've mentioned on the first video we did about wrestling, big WCW guy. Dominic came out in a tribute to Eddie Guerrero. I don't know if everybody caught it, that in-ring and the entrance attire was a little nod of the cap to Eddie. I can't remember what event it was. It was a pay-per-view on WCW where he wore the American flag attire. Pretty sure he was trying to be a heel at this point, which he was trying to turn his back on Mexico. I don't know. Either way, it was a little shout out to him. He also used a pretty, I would say, a staple of Eddie Guerrero's moveset, where when Eddie used to wrestle in tag team matches going against two guys, he would grab the guy by his arm, and when you go to the other ringside, he'd go to the top rope, and he would grab the other opponent with his legs and head scissors one guy and arm drag the other guy at the same time. And Dom pulled it off pretty well. It looked good. It was like the same exact time that both guys hit the mat at the same time, which good on Logan Paul. Like he obviously did some work. The match was okay. It's fine for me. I understand it's a celebrity match. I'll give it a C+. It was okay.
Yeah.
Not great, not terrible. I love Miz turning at the end though, because I was like, Miz got to do something here.
I guess they got
what's
to
your
do
moment?
something to keep him relevant, so they can keep that that wonderful show going.
I have respect for that man. That's all I gotta say. I respected what he did.
Yeah.
Hate him, like you're supposed to, but he got it. He got to where he wanted to go.
So match number 4 for me, it was the first good match, not excellent match, but a good match. Champion Becky Lynch against Bianca Belair. So first thing I'll say was Bianca Belair did win the championship here. You know, there was a bunch of teasers, and you know, and there were some, you know, good spots in this match. In fact, there were a lot of teasers. But for me, it was the best match of the night so far. And you know, I kind of like what they did on Raw previous, where they teased that Becky was going to cut that big, you know, ponytail of Bianca's, and she turned the table and cut the red hair of Becky Lynch instead. So this match gets a B for me.
I think Becky came out. I was like, what is she gonna look like now? Her gave me like I told you, the Fifth Element. Like she felt kind of like a Fifth Element vibe.
Yeah.
I loved her attire. Felt like a dark wedding. Like she had the little mesh on the bottom, or it felt like a dark wedding dress almost. Like I don't know, it was weird. I loved her attire. Bianca's whatever for me. I like her. I think she's a good wrestler. Her promos bore me. Whatever.
Right.
She can go. I thought this was going to be a great match. It turned out to be a very good match. It was, for me, there were some botches, a couple of bad spots by, I don't know if it was Bianca and Becky not being on the same page, or maybe Bianca wasn't ready. For instance, like she got kicked in the face when Becky did this spot where she went to the top rope and she was going to do like a front flip Meteora, I guess, or I don't know what it would be called. Either way, it was supposed to be that her legs landed on her neck, I feel like, and she got kicked in the face, and you could see in slow motion, face got like really kicked in. Bianca's.
Oh, okay.
Not in the right spot at the right time. I thought that I want to talk about that one spot where she was on the outside and looking she was gonna get count out. Like,
Yeah. Oh, right. Yes.
And
yes.
when you get counted out, or you're about to get counted out, but it's a fake count out, false finish. You're supposed to start getting up at like 6.5, 7, and start stumbling, and then kind of fall in the ring. This ref got all the way to the 9. She was literally laying on the steps, and then she just jumped up and ran in the ring. And I was, what is she heard the number 9? Did she not hear the other numbers? Shit, I'm sorry. I gotta get in the ring. Like, come on.
Yeah.
You're a pro. Be a pro. Like, do the right. Like, it's been
little
around. Like, don't try to reinvent the wheel. Maybe she was trying to be different.
Right.
That's one thing you don't change. Like, there are certain things that have been around forever in wrestling that aren't going to change. That's one of them. You don't do that.
But
like,
that's not believable that you get the shit beaten out of you.
I feel like you're making Becky look bad there. Like, you just got like rock bottomed essentially onto steel steps, and you just got up and ran in like after chilling for 9 seconds. No, you're supposed to struggle, get up, and roll in the ring. That's what you're supposed to.
Hopefully, that's something they'll work on with her.
Either way, this match, I give it B+. It was good, not great. And what was supposed to happen happened. I wasn't happy about it. You know, Becky's my girl. I love Becky. I think she'd be champion forever. I don't care. She should be 80 years old, just like Moolah, and still be champion.
Well, you haven't heard the last of her.
Oh, for sure. But solid match. B+.
Moving on. So match number 5. This is the one match that I think Vince booked very well. So for the last month and a half, you didn't know if Seth Rollins and Kevin Owens were going to even make it to WrestleMania. That's the story they were giving us. And then at the 11th hour, Vince calls Seth into his office, and you know what? Seth Rollins, he tells a really good story. I didn't always like him, but he has my respect now. I loved what he did. He goes into Vince is, Mr. Uptight, goes into his office, starts dancing on his desk. It was hysterical. But they build it as it's going to be an opponent of my choosing. So you get out there, and Seth doesn't know who his opponent's going to be, and he's, where's my opponent, and blah blah blah. And after about 3 to 5 minutes of keeping everybody in suspense, who was it?
Wrestling has one royal family. Cody Rhodes, baby. It's Cody Rhodes.
American Nightmare.
The grandson of a plumber.
He's just a common man.
Listen.
That was his music back then.
Yep, I know.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
I want us to sound like we're AEW, like homers, blowhard, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Like I grew up a WWE guy and a WCW guy. Seth Rollins sold this entire match by himself, and it was compelling. That's what it could have been. Like, yeah, would we have been upset if it wasn't Cody? Like, we all thought it was gonna be Cody. Thanks, internet, for ruining everything.
Right.
But if it would have been, let's say, because he teased, I think, Bray Wyatt, and he teased. If it was Bray Wyatt, we were all freaked out. By the way, where's Bray Wyatt?
For a
But either
split
way,
second, I even thought it could have been the Undertaker.
When the lights went out, he thought it was the Undertaker.
Yeah.
I tried to not give it away because I tried to hint, like, come on, it's Cody. But then when the lights went out, I knew you were going to be like, what's happening? But then I knew when you heard the biggest amazement for me, I wasn't surprised it was Cody. I knew it was going to be Cody. I was surprised, which you haven't mentioned yet, he used his AEW music, which is, he's still the American Nightmare. I was like, what are they going to do with him? He's just going to be Cody Rhodes? Is he going to be the grandson of a plumber? Are you going to give him some stupid name? Are you going to pretend he was never in the company? Like, what are you going to do?
Honestly, I think Tony Khan, out of loyalty, let him keep his music just for the fact that he helped him build the company.
Or is the door opening?
Yeah.
Is there a thing? I would love it. I would love to see that.
You know what? That was a very cool thing that Tony Khan did. Let him.
I think it was cool. I think it's. I think Tony Khan would do that because Tony Khan he wants to be the wrestling owner that people love, that wrestlers love.
Yeah.
It makes sense that he would do that. I didn't think Vince would be like, yeah, you're going to be able to use your music and use your gimmick, because Vince doesn't like when you get over, and you like when you leave and get over, or when you get over in his own company. Like, he buried Zack Ryder. Zack Ryder should have been over and should have been in the world title picture. And he said, no, I'm going to drop you down the card and then fire you. And it's another guy that'll be back in WWE very soon, by the way.
Well, I hope they give him better treatment.
He'll be Matt Cardona now.
Yeah.
From Levittown, right down the block, by the way.
Yeah.
Great match, by the way. Great match.
Yeah. So
one bad spot.
The match itself was great. I mean, I was worried that it would be a squash of Seth Rollins. That didn't happen. They had a full match. We knew Cody was going to win, but I gave this match an A.
I don't think Vince was going to let his guy go out there and get squashed by an AEW guy. Yeah. They did the right thing. I was worried Vince was going to not let Cody win, and that would have. But Cody got the dub. Thank God. Yeah. He hit another crossroads, and then when he stopped and hit the bionic elbow, I think the crowd lost their freaking mind, because the older audience got it, and the younger ones were just like, I don't know what's happening with the showmanship. Like, what is he doing with his hands?
Well, Dusty Rhodes was all over the South, so a lot of the fans remember.
Oh, for sure, for sure. He's a legend. He'll always be a legend.
His legacy. Yeah.
For me, that's an A+. It was a great match. They had one bad spot. They tried to do remember they were trying to pick each other up.
Yeah.
And they just ran out of gas. They couldn't do it. Yeah. But you know what? They turned it up, got up around, and did another spot. I can't remember what it was. Was that the pedigree spot? It might have been the pedigree spot. Either way, great job. Both of them are pros.
Yeah.
This is not the last match you'll see between Cody and Seth, by the way, because I think this might be the beginning of a 3-parter. And thank God, because that's going to be beautiful.
Right. So anyway, I gave it an A. What did you give it?
A+.
A+. Okay. All right, so match number 6, the SmackDown Women's Championship. Champion Charlotte Flair against Ronda Rousey. For me, I'm going to go off of my notes here. Been there, done that. Both had their spots. Main thing is that Ronda was able to break out of the figure 8. I think the first one that ever did. False finish with Charlotte putting her foot on the rope. Referee got it right this time. Hint, hint, superstar Billy Graham. So this is a reference to Bob Backlund beating superstar Billy Graham back in the 70s with superstar's foot on the rope.
Two legends.
Yeah. And nobody knows this, but I saw a house show where Bob Backlund fought Jimmy Superfly Snuka before Snuka turned face. And he also beat him with his foot on the rope. And that's when Bob Backlund started to really get booed. The crowd really started to turn.
That one false
Backlund.
spot I like though, which he had a leg on the rope, and he hit the third count. I don't know what his name is. The blonde referee from WWE. He was in WCW as a wrestler and then a referee. Can't remember his name. Does a great job in the ring as a referee. Love him so freaking much. He's one of the best referees in the game. I think he only did this match, but either way, that's neither here nor there. Both, as you said, got their spots in.
I mean,
I
didn't
hate
like
Ronda
the
Rousey.
finish.
I hate
I
her so
didn't like
much.
the finish. Charlotte tapped out. The referee was down, but then Charlotte then got the referee back into it, gave Ronda a big boot, and then a 3 count.
I told you I was gonna say this. I hate the finish, but I love the finish. Did not want to see Ronda Rousey. I walked into this match looking like, okay, Ronda's gonna win. Like I was at my friend's house for this match. You were upstate. Jack didn't get to watch it live. I watched it live, and this was the point where I was like, all right, so you want to go out? He smokes. I was like, you want to go out and smoke? Let's go out and smoke a cigarette. Like, I don't care about this match. He's like, no, let's watch. I feel like something crazy is gonna happen. When Charlotte won, I did pop. Like I popped, but I was like, that was a terrible finish.
Yeah.
But I am so happy that Ronda is not walking out as the women's champion because I can't stand her. I can't stand that she badmouthed the fans. People cheer. How do you cheer her? People that were at her shows. If you're watching this video, which I'm sure probably you're not. If you are somehow watching this video, how do you pop for her? She literally badmouthed you, and then you're still gonna cheer this woman?
Yeah.
Charlotte is one of the best workers. She was the babyface for me in this match. I don't care. I was cheering her all the time.
Ronda, she's not a full-time wrestler. She's more of a big name that Vince brings in, and that's another thing that's bothering me.
Gonna get the UFC fans, and they'll never be fans. It won't happen. Because
Charlotte was in this match, and because she's a great in-ring technician, I gave this a C. I could have given it less.
C+ for me. I love Charlotte. I mean, it's probably a C-, but I love Charlotte. She gets points for me just for being Charlotte Flair. The woman can put on a match with a broomstick. Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying that Ronda can't go because she's had decent matches, but I just can't stand her as a person, and I can't stand that the WWE continues to pay her. Thank God she lost. Yeah. Thank God. I heard she was mad. She wasn't going on last year, but guess what? We'll get to that. You should have been last anyway. And I think she got it when she heard the pop. Now we're going to get to the really good part of the Saturday night card. So we knew a few weeks back that Kevin Owens challenged Stone Cold Steve Austin to come on to the Kevin Owens show. So, a lot of buildup. Stone Cold finally came out. First he came out, walked to both ends of the stage to kind of take a bow in Stone Cold's fashion to the crowd. Then he went back, got his ATV, came down to the ring, circled the ring a few times in his ATV, and flawlessly, by the way, flawlessly. Then he gets in the ring, and you know what? I love Stone Cold, not only for what he says, but what he doesn't say. Mm-hmm. He's got that mad look on his face the whole time, like, I'm gonna kick this guy's fucking ass. In about 10 seconds, you're gonna have 75,000 people calling you an asshole. He's the man. He is the greatest, in my opinion, of all time. And Kevin Owens, to his credit, he's still running down Texas and saying some very funny things. And Kevin Owens is one of the best on the mic in this business today. When he finally got to we're not going to get to that point, but he was just bad mouth. I don't understand what's so great about Texas. It's hot as hell in the summer. Everyone here is stupid. Like, he is so funny. Why don't you people just move somewhere else? He's like Mexico's like right there. I would just move to Mexico. He's a great showman. He can put on a show. So that's an entertainment. So the Kevin Owens segment got an easy A for me. They were both great. Stone Cold just has to beat Stone Cold. And Kevin Owens, he really played it up. But then, towards the end of that segment, and I wasn't expecting this. I didn't just call you out here to be on the Kevin Owens show. I want to have a match with you. I want to get to that point before I grade the segment, which is an A for me, for sure. Yeah. The point where he went, I tricked you. I didn't want to just come out here and have a conversation. I came out here for a fight. And I have a messed up back. So I'm still willing to fight you. And I know 19 years ago, your back was messed up, your neck was messed up, your knees were messed up. It's been 19 years, so they're worse than ever. But other than that, you have no reason to not accept my challenge. Like the way he did it, and that was so.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I know you're sitting there thinking about it. You're thinking, I can't beat this beautiful French Canadian bastard. Like he is such a genius. He knows how to get heat, and when he's over, he knows how to get cheered. Like that's a great wrestler. So 8 for me. That very close to an A+.
Yeah.
But I thought Stone Cold would have more to say. He didn't say a lot, so it's just an A for me.
It was more.
He said,
like I said, it was
the look,
more
like you said,
the look and what he didn't say.
But when he finally did come at him, and he was like, and they started saying what he said. I said he's a man's a jackass. What? I said he's a jackass. Like played it up so well, so well.
If you haven't seen it and you can see it, and you have the Peacock Network, watch it. It was
Vince fund us. We just plugged Peacock for you. That was for you, Vince.
Yes. So in any event, so one segment led into a segment and a match. So I would consider the segment a match. And then this is match number 8, Kevin Owens versus Stone Cold Steve Austin. Of course, you knew Stone Cold had to win. So there's no question about it.
Great spots. I think the man broke a record for amount of beers drank in one match, which I think was probably 0 before this match. Whatever it was probably his record.
It's a
but
damn shame.
A rack of beer.
I was at my friend Vinny's house the other night, and my buddy Lee brought one of those what are those beers called?
Broken Skull IPAs, but he's got the liner now.
Yeah. But so I'm not a big
Plug-in
IPA guy, but I had that IPA and I actually liked it. And my intent was I washed the can out. I was going to bring it home for this segment, and I freaking forgot it.
It's if you're an IPA drinker, you're gonna be like, this is bullshit. It's a beginner's IPA. I don't love it. I don't hate it. I'll drink it, but I bought them for night 1 because I knew it was gonna be on. Me and Mike toasted one and watched the segment, and we did not obviously know it was gonna be a match. We freaked out. We got very excited. But I have a little history about me and Jack. I always give stuff away, and I try very hard not to, but I can't help it. And then I give it away. I did not give this away. And when it happened, he was very excited.
That was cool.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, it was a great match. I mean, I was actually surprised that Austin went as long as he did.
That was a long match.
He obviously rehearsed and practiced for this for several weeks.
He was training with Diamond Dallas Page. You're a goddamn angel. I've mentioned him before. Yeah. He's an angel of wrestling. Thank you for everything you've done.
There was a couple of funny spots, like, not only what did he spill? At least $100 worth of beer.
He also drank quite a bit. I looked a little drunk at the end. I mean, I loved it. Good for you, Stone Cold. You're having a great time. Last match ever.
Another good spot was when he
riding the ATV.
Yeah. So Kevin gets on the ATV and he didn't know how to start up. That would have been me. Whereas I don't ride those things regularly. So then Austin punches him or whatever. Then they ride it together and he beats him up on the stage some and brings him back down.
Stone Cold took a suplex on concrete. I don't know if it was actually concrete. It looked like concrete.
No, it looked like concrete.
But then he gave him a receipt on the I was like, he's got to get one back for that.
Yeah,
I was
right.
But I couldn't believe Stone Cold took that bump and it looked perfect. I'd say this, Kevin Owens, you're also one of the best. The man doesn't hurt anybody in the ring, and he protected Stone Cold throughout this entire match. They both look good, in my opinion. There's no shame in losing to a legend like Stone Cold. And he knew it.
The kayfabe, I think they both really respected each other.
Oh yeah, and KO knows he's getting the rub just from having a match with Stone Cold. Like it's Stone Cold. You got to retire Stone Cold. Like that's, even though you got your ass kicked, because you're not beating Stone Cold.
The match was an easy A for me.
It's an A.
Definitely, yeah. So it basically, so for part 1, I think between the Kevin Owens and Stone Cold segment and match, and Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes and Becky, they kind of saved the night.
I agree. As I said, like I said before, the first match should have been a banger, and they got kind of screwed by an injury.
Yeah.
Other than that, the match would have been the entire night. Night 1 would have been the better night, and it actually still is the better night, but it would have been by far, it might have been the best thing for Vince that injury happened, because it would have been so unbalanced. That night 1 was the better night in my opinion, and I still only give it B+, maybe B+.
Which one?
Night 1.
Oh,
night together. I'm just grading night 1 B+. It's between a B+ and an A-.
Yeah, I would say Probably
It's tough because we gave out 3 A's
a
there.
B. I would say I'd give it.
And I gave out an A plus, so it's got to
I
be a
would
B
give it
minus.
a B minus. Yeah.
Yeah. No, for me it's a B plus. I'll say.
Oh,
B minus,
okay,
B plus.
then, yeah, B. No, okay, maybe a B. I would give it a B.
I gave out an A plus. I have to give it a B plus.
But
But there was a lot of.
It's just those few
So
matches.
if you think there was
saved it
fluff
for me.
in this night, let's talk about night 2. Like you can't
Yeah.
just book one world title match and expect the rest to just be okay.
So now the difference between night 1 and night 2. So I got back from upstate and I rewatched night 1, so that's how I knew what would happen. But so George and I went into night 2 blind, so we were watching it together for the first time. So anyway, so first match or match number 9, I'm going to call it, is the Raw Tag Team Triple Threat match. So it was RK Bro, the champions, versus the Street Profits versus Chad Gable and Otis. So
this match had the coolest RKO I've ever seen hit not by Randy Orton.
Yeah.
A lot of good spots.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be a good match. Get Randy Orton in a match. It's usually going to be pretty good.
So I thought that there was like chaos in the beginning. You had
Yeah.
all 6 men in the ring, and it was, I don't think the structure in the beginning was that good, but it improved as the match went on.
I don't love the structure where these tag teams can tag each other in and out.
Yeah.
And, like I don't like if you're gonna have 3 tag teams in a match, make it a stipulation. Like you
Yeah.
have to, or else it doesn't work. Or at least make it tornado tag style. Like just let everybody in the ring at the same time.
Right.
Because when it breaks down, then we're just hating on a referee for like a design match. Like you designed it like this too. Like this is not okay. Like it's
Right.
stupid.
But
In my opinion.
I think it was started badly, finished fairly well, so I gave it a B.
The finish was great. I just loved the RKO by Riddle. That was incredible.
Yeah.
He did a spot where he springboarded. Who was it? Was it Montez Ford? Was on the top rope and he springboarded. He didn't even see him. Montez didn't see him. Springboarded up and just grabbed him and RKO'd him down, and it was great. And then right after that, Randy hit an RKO.
And
They won the match. It was great. It was a good
speaking
finish.
of Montez Ford, he is an amazing athlete, and I want to see good things from him. And they helped give this match a B.
I think Montez is going to hold himself back, not because of anything that he does outside the ring. I don't want to think I'm hating on Montez. I just think he loves his tag team, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
But eventually, Vince is going to want to break you up, and he's going to be I think he's going to be kind of resistant on that. Like
Right.
the New Day, they wanted to break the New Day up and push Big E a long time ago, and they were all against it.
Yeah.
Eventually, Big E was like, "All right, I need to get my world title shot in." Which,
Yeah.
by the way, get better as fast as you can, Big E. We're all rooting for you, man.
Yes.
That was horrible.
Felt so terrible when I saw that.
Yeah.
Get well soon, Big.
Very sad. Very
Yeah.
sad.
Now George and I, when we went to Wrestling Raw at UBS Arena, Big E was in the main event. Was that
He
him
was the
against?
champ.
Yeah, it was him against Kevin Owens, I believe.
No,
right?
it was.
Yeah, it was him against.
Yup.
Yeah.
Yup. And he was the champ.
And Seth Rollins was at the desk, talking to everybody.
Seth freaking Rollins.
Right.
Well, anyway, that match for me is a solid B. It was a good
Okay.
match.
So next match, and I was a little surprised that this was number 2 of the night. Omos against Bobby Lashley.
Kind of surprised this was even a match in WrestleMania,
Yeah.
to be honest with you, because Omos is not ready to be in a WrestleMania
No.
match by himself.
You know what? I think this was booked terribly, and I'll explain why. As somebody who grew up watching Andre the Giant, and you know what? Vince McMahon Sr. knew a long time ago, you cannot have this guy squashing everybody, every 365 days a year. You got to send
Why he
this
sent
guy.
him away, yeah.
You got to send him. You got to lend him out to other territories, so people wouldn't get bored of
Can I
him.
tell you what happened there, though? So his son came in and said, "Fuck all these territories, I'm buying them all out."
Yeah,
And then there was no territories to send Omos to.
yeah.
So now everyone's sick of Omos. And that's what happened.
So what do? They take this 400-pound, 7'5" guy, and they have him lose to Bobby Lashley. Now, granted, he was kicking his ass early, and then Bobby Lashley almost got the hurt lock on, but he couldn't quite do it. But that finish, I mean,
I think you should have
Gave
dropped
him a
into.
spear.
You should have dropped into a knee and then put the hurt lock on him.
Oh,
That's what I think
you know
should
what?
happen.
I'm sorry. This match for me is a C minus.
I don't understand why this match even had to happen.
Yeah.
Well, just feed
you
Omos.
You gotta utilize Omos, but
I would have fed him. What I would have done is I would have fed him a legend. I would have fed him an old legend that's willing to come back for a big payday that he can get crushed by Omos. Because Omos needs to keep winning matches. If you're gonna book him that way, keep winning him. How are you gonna book him against Bobby Lashley as his first big match, a former world champion? Like, I understand he fought AJ Styles, but like we all know he was gonna lose to AJ Styles because that's how you do it when he's the apprentice. Like he's supposed to beat the master. Stupid.
I do understand, sometimes it upsets me a little that AEW tends to hide certain people so they don't get losses. This is what they should have done here with Omos. I don't agree with that at all.
This is the first D I'm ever going to give out. This is a D for me, a D. Yeah. Like, this was a bad match. Like,
yeah,
it had one okay spot. And we don't care about this match at all because you didn't build it. It started a week. It started on Raw this week.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
I get that. He came off an injury and that's supposed to, and he got a big pop. And I'm glad because I think Lashley needs to be utilized as a face right now because he has to face Roman. He has to.
I mean, what the hell are your writers doing, Vince? That's all I have to ask.
I don't know. They don't even freaking know.
The fact that the next match I graded it even better. I mean, Johnny Knoxville against Sami Zayn. I mean, and you know what? I'm not up on my the show Jackass, to know who this Johnny Knoxville and Wee Man and Pontius are. And
I grew up with all these guys and they're all hilarious to me like 12 years ago. But I don't understand why you needed them to be at WrestleMania and why you needed all of them. And now here's another thing, Vince. How are you going to have two celebrity matches and let the celebrity win both times?
Yeah.
Like, I feel so bad. Like, I know you hate Sami.
Shush.
I know you hate
you gave the other one away.
The other one, that doesn't count. That's not a celebrity. He works for WWE. He works for WWE. That doesn't count. But the first night, Logan Paul gets the victory.
Right.
That's insane to me, which I think the Mysterios, I can't believe they agreed to that, which I guess you don't agree. It's Vince's company. He tells you what to do.
Yeah.
But Johnny Knoxville, dude?
I mean, so let's talk about some of the spots. Yeah, so
the Giant.
Anything, we'll get to that. Anything goes street fight. Mouse traps glued to a table. Tables, garbage cans. Pontius getting in the ring and strips down to a thong.
Because we all needed a party boy.
The wee man slams Sami Zayn, takes a bowling ball and rolls it into his nuts.
Sami, how are you going to take a body slam from a midget, dude? You're going to let a midget body slam me, bro? Like, I'm sorry.
The mechanical foot that kicks him in the nuts.
Can you imagine if this was the 80s? Sami Zayn would never be able to go back into a wrestling ring.
Of course I did. This wasn't in my notes about the hand that smacks him in the face.
Sami Zayn, if this was the late 80s, even I would say early 90s, you wouldn't be able to get ever back into a wrestling ring. No one would ever respect you again. You got body slammed by a midget, bro. And then you got smacked by a giant fake hand. And then you lost to Johnny fucking 150-pound Knoxville. What is happening?
Oh, because he had that giant rat trap.
I love Sami Zayn. I'm going to say it. Everyone's going to hate this. I think Sami Zayn is a great pro. I think he's a good wrestler. I think he gets screwed. And apparently he wanted this stupid gimmick, which, Sami, what are you doing?
But
fix yourself.
I wonder if Sami Zayn's having a conversation with Tony Khan as we speak.
I would love that. Go to AEW. Go ahead. He'll be TNT champion in 2 months.
So I'll give this a C only because there was some comedy to this match. So
it was better than the match before. Yeah. I mean, I guess at least there was build to this. Like they had a championship involved, and Johnny screwed him over. If you remember, the whole lead up to this match wasn't terrible. The only terrible thing was the guy he did it with was Johnny fucking Knoxville. Like, why? To promote a movie, by the way, which, Vince, you're a PG program. I haven't seen the new Jackass yet, but from the reviews that I've heard from my friends, it's just guys hanging their junk out for about 2 hours. So you're going to promote that at your biggest event where you're a PG program. It's a C for me because it had funny moments. That mousetrap thing was stupid, by the way. Let's move past it.
Okay, so match number 12, which is the fourth match of night 2. It's the women's fatal 4-way tag team
It's gonna
championship.
surprise me that it was
So,
better than I
yeah.
thought this match.
So Sasha Banks and Naomi versus Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley versus Shayna Baszler and Natalya versus the champions, Queen Zelina and Carmella. And why these two were holding onto those belts longer than Stan Stasiak held onto the belt for 9 days, I'll never know.
They were trying to promote that stupid show with Corey Graves and what's her, Carmella.
Carmella.
That's why.
Yeah.
Either way, this match surprised me. I will say a pleasant surprise tonight too,
Yes.
because I thought this match was going to be boring, and it wasn't
I
terrible.
gotta tell you, you know who really carried it tonight? I thought it was Sasha Banks.
He does not like Sasha Banks.
I'm not a huge,
not doesn't like her. Not a big fan of her. So I was surprised when he gave her flowers for this one. And he was like, she carried this match and did a good job. I think Sasha's like an incredible worker.
She did.
Her promos are okay. She's a great worker.
Needless to say, it was Sasha and Naomi that took the title. So
and that I think was the right decision. These two,
fully to them,
especially for Naomi. Girl deserves to be relevant. What has she done in the last 3 years? Vince?
I mean,
where's she been?
You had Natalya, who's probably the best worker of all 8 of them, and she was really a non-factor. I think it was Sasha that carried this match.
I agree. And when this turn happens, because eventually, one's going to turn the other to Sasha.
Right.
I hope the entire WWE women's division gets to feel the glow, because she needs her singles run. And she's great. I love her. I think her gimmick's great. I think she's a great wrestler. Maybe a new finisher. Other than that, great wrestler. Good match. B+. Good match.
Okay, so next match is Edge versus AJ Styles. Now I know you're a big Edge fan, so you want to.
I thought this was going to steal the show. I told you before the night when they were showing the card. I was like, that's going to steal the show. It was close. It was a good match. I loved the entrance for Edge. It was cool. Sitting on his mountain of omnipotence, like him in his new weird godlike gimmick, which I kind of love. I love him as a heel, but this is a different version of Edge, and I kind of liked it. The match there was no botches. There was no bad spots. They hit everything they needed to hit. There was no crazy moments where you were like, wow, but it was also a pure, good, great wrestling match. Yeah. It could have been on any WrestleMania card ever. Like, that's how good this match was. It would have been fine in any era.
In my notes, I said both great workers. So, the only weird thing for me was when AJ Styles first came out, he had a little blood trickle on his
we don't know
face.
what that happened. Like, what happened with that? Initially, we thought maybe they got back. Like, they're both very intense. Maybe they got into it backstage. Apparently, he walked into some piece of equipment.
Yeah,
and bashed his face. My girlfriend actually, when I was talking about doing the show before, she sent me a video of it. And apparently, he bashed his face.
Well, it's possible with the dim lights. For the wrestlers to come out through the gorilla. I
don't know if anyone's ever seen, but it's always like a tiny little staircase you're walking up that's at like a 90-degree angle. So sometimes you don't see everything. Probably walked into something, and
it's possible.
But he went right out there and didn't affect him. He put on a great match. For me, this is. I know it's probably biased. I think it's an A-. I love Edge. I mean, probably a little high.
I gave this a B+.
I love Edge. I love AJ. The finish was okay. That probably it could have been a much higher grade, but I don't understand. I mean, we all don't understand what's happening right now. But why did Damian Priest come out? And I mean, the spear out of the air, we all seen it before. It wasn't the best one I've ever seen. Of course, you can't beat the Jeff Hardy spear from WrestleMania 17.
Right.
But it looked pretty good. The finish was okay. I don't know how AJ is a perfectionist. I'm sure he looks back in the match and he's not happy with it. This is how AJ is, but. Good match. I give it an A-.
It's all right. I can give it.
Could have been better. Could have been a little better.
They both did good.
I kind of wanted Damian should have went into the ring.
Right.
That would have made it like why are you just standing there not even looking at AJ, just like kind of looking off in his face. I don't know. So
while we were talking, and I was thinking to myself, and I'm looking at the card on my laptop as we're talking. Why? So now Ridge and Sheamus versus the New Day. That was originally supposed to be on the pre-show of Saturday.
No, the pre-show was supposed to be in night one.
Oh, it was supposed to be in night one, so it got bumped to night 2, and they moved it down the card. And I think the reason they did that was to make sure that the matches before it had enough time.
Maybe they also
Yeah.
wanted to give the New Day a better spot because those
Yeah.
are they were probably okay with it.
Yeah.
Like they're pros, they get it. Like we want to have more time for Austin. I also think we didn't talk about this. In night one, Drew McIntyre took the sword at the end to Angela and cut the ring ropes. He was aiming for Madcap Moss
Right.
and cut the ring ropes. I think he maybe was only supposed to cut one.
Yeah.
He cut both of the ring ropes. Now you have to set the ring back up.
Yeah.
They probably wasted too much time and didn't have time for these guys, so they moved
Right.
up to night two. That being said, you could have just not had this match at all because it was stupid. It was a dumb match, and also we're talking about one of your best performers got destroyed because of this dumb storyline.
Right. So
Again, get better as fast as you
I
can,
gave this a
Biggie.
C. I mean, for the little time that the New Day had to perform, they're good performers in the ring, and they're both good on the mic.
They always
So,
make me laugh. I
Yeah.
like them.
so I give it a C. Otherwise, it could have been worse.
I didn't like the finish. I think the New Day should have got the win
Yeah.
here. I don't
Yeah.
understand why you put. And also, wasn't Butch supposed to be in the match? But then Ridge Holland was for some reason in the match.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened there. That guy is
Who
literally
knows?
out here almost killing people. Like he almost
Yeah.
killed Biggie. He almost killed him.
Yeah.
That's what happened, and I can't believe they let him still wrestle
Well,
at all, let alone at WrestleMania. Like
I
it's
know.
mind blowing.
they're trying to push him. I mean,
Well, it's stupid because
Yeah.
he's going to hurt someone else. It's
Yeah.
not going to get better. Get him back into the performance center. The guy's
so
not ready.
now, last night, I'm watching this as it's unfolding. So match number 15, the second to last match of the night, Pat McAfee versus Austin Theory. Now, when it was first happening, I'm saying to myself, what the hell are these guys doing? How did they, like when you're arranging an album, when you cut an album, you want to strategically place the songs to
I wanted
maximum
to get better.
effect. So what the hell
Like
are
a
you
reverse,
doing
like a pyramid.
putting
Nobody's
these
get-
guys in the second to last match? That being said, I thought, and I'm not an Austin Theory fan, whereas Vince McMahon is, but I
Put on
thought
a good show.
I
Him
thought
and
Pat McAfee did a great job. For a guy that's not really a wrestler, he's a punter from the Indianapolis Colts. I thought he did an amazing job.
a all-decade punters.
Yeah. But I think he did an amazing job, with some of those spots, that high flying off the top rope.
I gotta say, this is another time you gave someone their flowers when you're not a big fan. He does not
Yeah.
like Pat McAfee's commentating.
Yeah.
Was like, this guy's gonna get in the ring. Are you kidding me? And I was like, he might surprise you. He's athletic.
He impressed me.
He
really
surprised
did.
me. So
Yeah.
I mean, I know we had a match before, and I've seen it with Adam Cole. That was not as good as this match. He did a very good job. Austin Theory did a good job of carrying him. I
Right.
think Austin Theory did a good job protecting him,
Right.
and sold all his moves great. And maybe I'm starting to see why Vince likes him. I don't know. That's an A for me. Like it's a good match.
This has multiple grades for me. So
We get the
the
second
initial finish when McAfee defeated Austin Theory, I gave it an A- because I think McAfee really outdid himself. Then Vince McMahon has to come in, egomaniac that he is, and ruin it. So what does he do? He beats up a tired Pat McAfee with Austin Theory's help, and he's strutting around the ring, and
And his black tank top.
76-year-old guy taking it, stripping down to his tank top, and being the poser that he is. So at that time I was about to give the match a D-, and then glass breaks, and out comes Stone Cold for a second time, and at that time I was going to give it a C+ when he gave him that stunner, and Vince took the stunner horribly, and then too much beer was spilled, and too many. I think they overplayed their hand with Stone Cold here. He did a multiple stunners, and then he stuns Pat McAfee. So
Which made no sense. Like, why? I mean, I guess he always used to do stuff like that. I get it.
so
Let me tell you something. The second half of this match had no chance for me. It was terrible. Vince,
no
do you understand
chance.
how bad you just made Austin Theory look? Like he
Yeah.
loses to, and Pat McAfee. He loses to Pat, right? Which is bad enough.
Yeah.
Then you go in and kick the crap out of Pat McAfee, which I get, oh, he's tired, whatever. No, That was terrible. Pat should have beat you too. Pat should have also beat you. You should be world champion. Push him to the top then. Like, you fucked up. I don't know what you did there.
Vince wanted to relive the glory days with his feud with
That was
Stone Cold
so
Steve
dumb.
Austin. But
That was, and then he took the worst stunner. I don't know if I remember the first stunner he ever took, because that was pretty bad.
Yeah.
This was far worse. This was like, do you remember the time his wife took a stunner?
No,
She took a stunner, and it was
really?
maybe better than that one. Like, that was so bad, Vince.
Oh,
And apparently, and one of my friends tried to text me and told me, oh, well, he was hurt apparently. That's why he didn't take the stunner good. I'm like, no, he's a 76-year-old man. That's why he didn't take the stunner good. And he got hurt because he's a 76-year-old man in the wrestling ring. Get the fuck out of the wrestling ring, dude. Why are you here? Get out of here. Love you. I love what you did for my childhood. Get the hell out of the wrestling ring. It's time.
Yeah.
You're 76. Okay.
So my final grade on that match was a C+ because of the mishaps.
I grade this twice. I said A for the beginning. For me, it's a C-. The second half was bad. No chance. Vince, what are you doing?
No chance. That's what you got.
Let's get to the greatest WrestleMania match of all time.
Yeah, the men's unification match. Champion versus champion. Roman Reigns from SmackDown, Brock Lesnar from Raw. So
I want to ask one question. When they wrote that greatest WrestleMania match of all time, do they not remember that they had The Rock versus Stone Cold 3 times in WrestleMania?
Or Hulk Hogan versus this guy, the Ultimate
Or
Warrior.
Hulk Hogan versus Andre the Giant? Like, come on. Like,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. No. Either way.
Well, you know what? They're
Both
trying
good
to,
workers.
what's
This
that
is
saying? They're
stupid.
trying to make chicken salad out of chicken shit.
Well, when you back yourself into a corner and let one of your wrestlers eat the entire roster for 2 years, that's what happens. And then he gets to eat the other guy that's supposed to beat him. But either way, let's move fast.
You know what? I'm not going to really talk about this much. You know, you got your two juggernauts in there who can't really go past 10, 15 minutes, which is what they did. You know, Brock Lesnar, I was surprised to see how over he was with the crowd. Roman Reigns did win. There was the spot where it looked like when Lesnar gave Roman that Kimura lock that he actually took his shoulder out of the socket. Yeah, but Roman did win, so I give it a B.
So for the longest time, I told you Brock's got to win. Like, who's ever gonna beat Roman? Like, ever. And then getting closer and closer, I said it makes more and more sense that Roman's got to win this match, because is Brock gonna go work 2 shows? Then now he's gonna be the champ on both shows. Like, he's gonna go work both shows after, like, the guy doesn't like to work. Like, I knew he wasn't gonna be there, and if he was, it was a transitional championship. I don't know. I kind of like Roman. Like, now, I used to hate him so much when he was a face. I was happy when they turned him heel.
But is he the guy that can carry your company the way Hulk Hogan once did and Bruno once did? Or Stone Cold. Yeah.
I don't think there'll ever be another guy like that. That being said, is Roman really deserving of being a champion for this long? And when somebody beats him, are people gonna want it? Like, I don't even know anymore, because people kind of like Roman as a heel.
The problem is, who do you put the belt on?
I don't even know if people want Drew McIntyre to make that run, and that's who they think is gonna be that guy. I feel like might be a guy you just signed. Everyone's gonna sound like a AEW homer, but how great would it be to the AEW superstars that are looking over from AEW that are not getting their title shots or getting their time, and they see Cody Rhodes just get signed and wins the world title.
The Rhodes are very popular in the South. I mean, Dusty was with NWA for a long time.
I think Vince is going to put the belt on Cody, because it would be the smartest business decision for him. Because now you can go sign Wardlow, you can sign these guys, because they'll go, I will get my spot here.
Well, that's what he's looking at. It's a potential door opener.
And not for nothing, what was the best match on the card of both nights?
This
is, by the way, B- for me. Decent, but not great. The finish kind of abrupt. Again, we don't know if that was because of an injury.
As for the whole night too, I would say C-.
Yeah, that was too much fluff.
Too much fluff.
And you know what's fucked up is you kind of ruined that Pat McAfee match. Like, Vince, it could have been that would have been the best match of the night.
And you ruined the Omos match.
That was just never gonna succeed.
And the Ridge and Sheamus New Day match. I'm sorry.
And then you just bury Edge and AJ in the middle. Like, why?
Yeah.
That should have been one of your final matches, but whatever. Like you messed
Well,
up.
I think it was a time constraint thing. Really the main reason why they booked them the way they did in the order that they did. Yeah.
I guess. I mean, yeah, it's not a great night. Not a great look to have a 2-night WrestleMania anyway. Just do one night, Vince, and do 10 great matches. Don't do 2 nights of 7 and then 9. Like, why? Why are you doing it that way?
The only positive here is gone are the days of you paying $45 each month for a pay-per-view.
I guess, yeah, it's cool. But also, what happened to the Intercontinental Championship and the US title? Those don't exist to you anymore.
Yeah.
Do not care. I'm pretty sure. Here's what I would have done. We just put this out there. Didn't one of your greatest Intercontinental champions just die 2.5, 3 weeks ago? You should have had a Memorial Intercontinental Championship fucking ladder match. You suck. You don't know what you're doing. Razor Ramon. You should have had a Memorial Intercontinental Championship ladder match. You should have done that.
Yeah.
Or at least had a moment. Mention the man. Mention his WrestleMania 10.
Who do you put? I'm sorry. Who's the Intercontinental champ? I'm drawing a blank.
It's your boy Ricochet.
Ricochet.
Who, by the way, I'm pretty sure could put on one of the best ladder matches you ever saw in your freaking life. Doesn't matter who you put him against.
But who do you put him against?
I don't know. Maybe the guy who wrestled a commentator, Austin Theory.
Yeah.
What are you doing, Vince?
Yeah.
You suck. I just wrote your card for you. It would have been way better. Whatever. And you could have honored a legend, but you decided you were more important at 76 years old to get in the ring. So move past that.
Well, I hope you're watching, Vince, and you're taking notes. But it was largely forgettable.
The first night was okay. You could have just had the world title match at the end of the first night, and it would have been a good WrestleMania, not a great WrestleMania, but it would have been passable. The fact that you stretch it to 2 nights and have so much fluff night 2 ruins WrestleMania's mystique. And I used to wait all year for WrestleMania. Now this year I was like, because the match card is terrible. If I can make a suggestion,
they need to cut SummerSlam down to maybe 10, 11 matches tops and keep it in one night and try to make it as action-packed as possible.
Talking about SummerSlam? Was it 2 nights this year?
I think it was last year, but I think, you
don't need 2-night events.
I think they need to try and use that as a practice and try to make a new
I hear what you're saying. So you can try to see how it works for WrestleMania.
Redo your benchmark. Yeah.
Just do better. Just be better. But it's like,
I know what I would do.
I told you several things that could change this card very easily. And, he doesn't care about his wrestlers. So he doesn't care about the fans. So that's why.
Largely, thumbs down.
How are you going to have a WrestleMania and you have guys like Finn Balor on your roster? The man's not even part of WrestleMania. Where's Bailey? Where's Asuka? What are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
It's criminal not having Finn Balor on the card.
Finn Balor needs to leave and go back to Japan. Go back to Japan, Finn. They respect you there anymore.
Yeah.
Go back. Get the hell away from Vince, because he's gonna fucking bury you for the rest of your career. You're too tiny.
In any event, have we said enough?
I think we've said enough.
All right. So that being the case, I'm gonna say good night. Have a great night, everybody. This is Jack Toledano speaking for All or Nada According to Jack. If you like my content, please subscribe. Please put your comments in the comments section.
And click the like button.
But most importantly, let me know what you think. I also take constructive criticism really well, as long as it's constructive, not destructive. So I'll say good night. George, you want to?
Have a good night, guys, and enjoy the matches. Let's get to Monday Night Raw.
Yep.
See what happens with Cody.
Yeah.